I think you know me well enough by now, so I can just skip the introduction and go right to the reason you're here. And there are actually two reasons, the obvious reason and the real reason. The obvious reason, of course, being that you want to be a better guitar player, you want to be a better musician, you want to be able to just grab the music and grab your instrument and just twist the music around and play around with it and experiment with it. You want to find your own personal vision and expression on the instrument, and you just want to make better music. You want to be able to take whatever it is you know and make it completely your own. Maybe you want to compose, maybe you want to create your own music, maybe you want to improvise. Those are all great reasons. But the real reason you're here is that music teaching, let's admit it, music teaching is stuck somewhere in the Middle Ages. Music teaching hasn't advanced with the ages because we're still learning through the classical method. And the classical method does not create musicians. The classical method creates players, people who copy what already exists. And I think that's not what modern players want. Modern players like us, we want to create the music. We want to be in control of the music and understand the music, not just the theory and the technique. We want to feel the music because music comes from the inside. Music is a language of emotions. It's a language of colors. It's an abstract language in which you express something that you can't express in words. And just learning technique and theory doesn't give you anything in that respect. You can't really make music and feel the music by just being a player. You want to be a musician. You want to do more than just copy someone else's playing and vision. And I was a beginner player myself some time in the past. Not too long ago, actually. I'm still a musical student. You never stop learning music. There's always more to learn. And I was so frustrated with my teachers because none of them, and I kept changing teachers in search of someone who will teach me how to play what I want to play. None of them actually gave me the tools to play what I wanted to play. They all wanted me to copy their own playing. And I couldn't understand why that was. And I kept asking them, but that's not what I want to play. And they said, no, you have to play this. You have to play this song. You have to play this scale. And that's just not true. You don't have to play anything. The C major scale as a basic scale is just a suggestion. You can start from any sort of scale. You can start from any chord. You don't have to begin at some specific point. And yet people teach it as if there are levels. They keep teaching as if there is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and sometime in the future, you'll be able to make your own music. But that rarely happens because people get so boxed into that classical way of thinking, and that just confines everything and suffocates the creativity. And I didn't like that because A, the theory was too confusing, and B, I didn't like repeating the same exercise 1,000 times. I wanted to play music. I wanted to make music. And then I bought books, and then I bought video courses, and they all taught the same way. So that's how I came to create my own method where you listen first, where you actually actively listen to the music and open your ears, open your mind to the richness of music, to the sound, to the colors, to the different variations, the slight variations on the music, because the A minor chord and the A minor 7 chord are completely different chords. They're completely different colors. And there are so many ways to manipulate the same chord progressions. You don't have to learn new chords to make new music. And that's just something that nobody seems to want to teach you. They all want you to copy what already exists. And I don't know, I just found it frustrating. I found it confining, and nobody taught me how to be creative with the music, how to speak the musical language. And I know you're thinking, what about theory? Theory doesn't help you internalize the music. Theory is there just to explain the music. It's there to give names to what you hear. It's only there to assist you in expressing yourself. It's not there to teach you the music. First you hear the music and then you explain it theoretically. But the classical method teaches it the other way around. And that's why most classical players, if not all of them, about 99.9% of classical musicians can't improvise. They can't create anything new. They just play, no matter how technically good they are. And here's a secret. Here's something that it's unbelievable to me that nobody ever takes the time to explain it. Even the professional players don't take the time to explain that once you can hear something, the technique follows. Once you can conceptualize a piece of music, you can play it. You can't play what you can't hear. And that's the method behind all of my courses. All of my courses begin with the very basic approach where you have to listen to the color and the expression of what's being played, whether it's chords or scales or melodies or finger style picking or any other thing that you want to play. You just have to listen. And once you learn to recognize it, you start to see a couple of things. You see that most of music is built around the same building blocks, exactly the same building blocks. And once you recognize those building blocks, you can combine them in different ways, like a puzzle, like pieces of a puzzle to create different expressions. But it's all the same building blocks. And once you learn to hear it, everything opens up. And then you can play everything. And then you can direct your hands to the right changes instead of learning mechanically and never actually internalizing the music. That's an important thing, right? And the second thing that happens is that you have epiphanies. You have epiphanies. Suddenly, well, I have some advanced musician friends, advanced jazz player friends, who actually confess to me that they've learned the theory years ago, a decade ago even, and yet only recently they've begun to hear what's going on in the music, and only now they're beginning to understand the theory that they've learned back at university 10 years ago. And it's not surprising, because the deeper you go into the music, the harder it is to explain. But if you can hear it, there's nothing to explain, because you can hear it. I mean, if you can hear the difference between a ninth chord and a minor ninth chord, then you don't need to explain what's going on. You know what you need to play. For example, if I tell you, imagine some Spanish music, imagine some flamenco music in your head. You can hear it, right? You can hear it. You can hear that strong strumming, that attacking strum. You can hear the classical guitar. You can hear those tasty sounds. But if I tell you, okay, this is the scale they're using. This is the Phrygian scale. This is the harmonic minor scale. Okay, now play flamenco music. You can, because you're not hearing it. I'm giving you the theoretical material, but you haven't learned how to internalize and hear the music correctly, and hear what makes flamenco music, and hear the colors that actually make it Spanish sounding. You see, so if you approach music sound-wise, and you approach it with your open ears, and you actually open yourself to the rich experience of recognizing the music, like looking at the mirror and recognizing yourself, you can hear something playing in the background on the radio, and you can recognize the chords, and you can recognize the movement, and you can recognize what's going on. And then you can just pick up the guitar and play it. And that's just like a superpower. You feel great, you feel insane. It's an insane moment where that epiphany happens, where you suddenly recognize something, where you suddenly recognize what's going on. And that's true for all of my courses. The ear training course, of course, is all about recognizing the music, learning to recognize different building blocks, and then building everything up from it. The chords, the scales, the changes, the chord progressions, everything. And once you can learn to hear it, you can do anything. And again, as I said, when you open your ears, the hands follow. The arrangement course, of course, needs no explanation. It's a course on fingerstyle arrangement. The rhythm mastery course is it's a rhythmic ear training course where we actually tackle rhythm, and that's just incredible fun, because rhythm is the music. Without rhythm, you have no music. And us guitar players, because it's so easy to pick up the instrument and just begin to play, because we can put some chords on and start playing, we never actually focus on the rhythm itself. And it's ridiculous, but we rarely do. We rarely just sit on the guitar and say, okay, I want to make an experiment with triplets. I want to make an experiment with 16th notes and muting in between. We never do that. And that's what I teach you in the rhythm mastery course, to be in full control of the rhythm. And once you're in full control of the rhythm, again, you're a master of the music, because without rhythm, there is no music. the fingerstyle technique toolbox. That's everything I know about fingerstyle. Everything from arpeggios to slapping to strumming techniques to harmonics, natural harmonics, artificial harmonics, slap harmonics. Anything from operating the fingers together and apart to creating different sounds and dynamics and everything, including all those Spanish and flamenco style inspired techniques and all. It's a lot of fun. It's everything I know about fingerstyle. 72 techniques. Yep, I counted them. The melodic control course and the intuitive composition course might sound advanced, but again, we're starting from the very basics. The basics of harmony, the chords, and the basic of melody, the soloing. We take them apart and we rebuild them together, and I show you how to get outside of what you already know, what you're already used to, how you can take all those guitar cliches that make everyone sound as if they're playing exactly the same thing and take it outside and put it back in and just recombine it to create new sounds and new expressions. So just read the description below. And again, I'm trying to give you everything I know and more, because when I film the courses, I get new ideas and then I just combine it and experiment myself along with you. You'll see, it's interactive. I always tell you in the courses to just stop and experiment before I show you my idea. So it's a musical journey. Music is a journey. You never stop learning new music. There's always somewhere more to go. So that's why I'm making the courses, because I believe that music should be enjoyed and that music learning should be enjoyed. And when you open your ears and listen to what you play, your hands follow. And if you can visualize in your inner ear, visualize a concept, a musical concept, a rhythmical concept, a chord, then you can play it, then you can search for it and play it, and the search becomes shorter and shorter until you can predict what you want to play and instantly and immediately play it. And I'm living proof that it works, because I hate theory, I hate mechanical, repetitive, dry exercises, and yet I'm a professional guitar player because I'm actively listening to what I do, and I keep opening my ears to new expressions and new sounds. And I want you to have the same experience, and that's why I'm making these courses. So thank you very much for listening to me talk and for watching this video. Read the descriptions below, and I wish you a lot of fun. And see you in the courses. Bye for now. Enjoy.